Hi and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn, coming to you from deep within the bowels of the Beer Temple. I have my lovely wife Margaret covering for me upstairs right now, and normally you know that I do the shows before, whenever possible, the store is actually open, but today I got a shipment that I've been waiting for. It's been a bit of a trial to get these beers here, but we finally have them from Societe Brewing in San Diego, California. Just great friend of the show, Mike Sardina from Societe Brewing. I believe his title is Ruler of the Underworld, I think is his official title at Societe Brewing. Anyway, Mike had recently taken on a job with Society and wanted us to try some of these beers. And you know what? The guy really went out of his way to get the freshest possible product. Gave me a lot of really cool information about these beers, and they came and the growlers got damaged. I don't think it was any fault of his, and he had to resend them, and they finally came. FedEx got here when the store was open, and I said, you know what, I can't think of a better way to end the year, the first year of the Beer Temple, than with these three special beers here. And I just said, well, let's just set up in the basement here. I'm sorry, I don't know if this sounds halfway decent or not, and but hopefully it's okay. And anyway, it's about the beer, not about the ambience. So I'm in one of our little caves. We've got kind of like this little network of passages down here. I can basically get to anywhere in the city, you know, without ever leaving the basement here. It's just like a little catacomb. Anyway, enough about my silly rantings. Societe Brewing, they started last year, 2012, San Diego, California. They have pretty solid pedigree. Two guys who met when they were working at the brewery in Placentia, Orange County, California, and certainly known for some sour beers there. One of the brewers prior to that had been at Russian River, certainly known for their sour beers and their hoppy beers as well. And the other guy had been, and I don't have their names, I'm sorry, had been at Pizza Port, Carlsbad, you know, the most award-winning of all the pizza ports out there in San Diego as well. So these guys definitely know what they're doing. Been brewing for a little over a year now, and they're starting up a sour program, but for now I think it's just you know, normal fermentation. They do a lot of hoppy beers. They've certainly been getting a lot of positive feedback from the beer community, and I've never had a single thing from them. So I'm very, very excited to try these beers. I figured an appropriate way, these are like twist tied closed, so I'm gonna have to open these up with my dull knife, but it's what I got. In fact, maybe I'll do all these at once so I don't have to do that each and every time. You know what, maybe I won't do it. We'll see. Really cool growlers though. This is the Apprentice. This is one of their first two beers that they offered. They only do keg beer right now. They're not bottling, but they plan to bottle the sour beers in the future. They do have a tap room, and they do growler fills to go. So these are cool. These are the little howlers, the little 32-ounce half growlers here. The Apprentice is an American IPA, comes in at 7.5%, using I think mainly pale malt and a little Pils malt, so just, you know, very basic malt bill. Centennial Amarillo Simcoe, dry hopping and regular hopping as well. I hope I got that right, all from memory. So let's see. Whoa, filled way to the top here. Very nice. And like I said, Mike has been pretty awesome. He really wants us to have, I don't want to waste any. Fresh examples. So, I mean, this stuff is within, you know, like a week of being brewed. So it's about as fresh as you can get. And I'm guessing it's even fresher than a week. So anyway, taking a look at this beer, Really clear, pretty brilliantly crystal clear, good carbonation. Doesn't look like the growler hurt that at all. I can smell, even from right here, I can smell the hops kind of jumping out of the glass. It's funny, I'm getting a lot of the Simcoe. Reminds me of, or I'm sorry, Amarillo. Reminds me a lot of Gumball Head from the smell. So I'm getting certainly a dank quality here, you know, dank, quote unquote, that weedy smell, but also some higher citrusy fruits bordering on tropical and some pine. So it's, but like that tropical pine, not like a pine cone. I know that doesn't make sense, but sometimes I get like a piney pineapple thing going on, and that's what I'm getting here, more than just the strict, you know, more resinous, woody, pine needle, rosemary type thing. Yeah, just a lot of that juicy fruit thing. Oranges, and floral notes. Very nice. Definitely all about the hops here. Definitely all about the bright aromatic hops too. Nothing of that woody, resinous thing going on. Might hear people upstairs. Man, very clean, very dry, hopped, or I'm sorry, you know, bitter, but not very bitter. You know, there is bitterness here, but not very. You know, for a 7.5% IPA, I probably would have expected a little bit more, but it definitely makes it plenty drinkable. As I'm talking, there is kind of that slow burn of bitterness kind of slowly growing on my tongue. Kind of makes me want to reach for another glass. Really tastes dry. Very much a West Coast style IPA, that San Diego style. Really dry. The bitterness is now actually coming on, and it's interesting. It's almost like there's like this pineapple bite to it too. Really solid beer. I'm gonna go 93, and it's very much in style right now. Very much of that in vogue style of IPA. Big juicy aromatics, very dry malt bill, and you know, bitter, but certainly not a tongue scraper as well. So solid, really nice beer. Well done. You know what? That bitterness is actually sneaky. It's just a very slow to develop, clean bite to it, which I like. I like beers that you know, kind of show their bitterness a little bit later. So that's cool. The next beer we have is called the Pupil. So the Apprentice, the Pupil, another American IPA, also 7.5%, also with pills and pale malts. This one also has some wheat added to it, from what I'm being told. Can I get this thing? Oh, there we go. Probably should have just gotten scissors, huh? Yeah, some wheat to it, so I'm curious to see how that adds to it. If it adds kind of like a creamy texture, or maybe a hint of kind of lemony note to it. The hopping is also very different. It does use Centennial again, as well as Nelson Sauvin and Citra in the kettle. And in the, I'll have to learn how to open these a little bit more delicately. So Nelson Sauvin, Citra, Centennial. Yeah, I'm guessing that will sell this beer alone. Really lovely, creamy head just sitting right here on the growler. There we go. No dump bucket, so I got to finish everything. Very fluffy carbonation here. Maybe I agitated this one a bit more. A little bit more hazy, potentially from some of those proteins in the wheat. A little bit darker, more orange, but a very nice looking beer here. Nelson, 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 Nelson. I really like Nelson Sauvin hops. It's got this really green, leafy quality to it, to me. Not quite tomato plant. Everyone says grapes, and to me it's more like a grape leaf. If you've ever had like something wrapped in grape leaves, it's very much that flavor for me. It also has like a bright spring onion or a chive note to it. And it's funny how the Nelson and the Citra interact with each other. I mean, Citra is such a noticeable hop often, almost always with that big mango note to it, but really it's the Nelson that's jumping out at me here. Now watch them say that batch shouldn't have any Nelson in it, but this to me smells like there's Nelson in it. I'm digging it. It's bordering on that oniony thing that I really like. I'm gonna say again, like, oh, not that bitter, but I'm waiting to see if it grows. At first glance, it's certainly not that bitter. Very clean malt profile, just a very faint cracker, maybe white bread note. Certainly creamier. So I think the way that I'm perceiving the wheat here is just in a softer, creamier mouthfeel. And the hops are really aromatic. Much more of that herbaceous, green, fresh herb note. I think the carbonation might be a little lower on this one too, which also might be why it tastes creamier to me. Really like this one too. Man, I mean, between the two, which one do I like more? I don't know. I think I might like the Apprentice more. It's just so classic San Diego Pale Ale. It reminds me of a Pizza Port IPA that you would get at the brew pub. Brutally fresh and just awesome. So it kind of takes me back to that place, and I really like that. This is very interesting too. I really love the aromatics on this one, and it's fun. So maybe I'll go, what did I say, like 93? I'll go 92, 2 and 3. Really nice though. Two solid beers. And now we're on to the third one. This one's called The Butcher. I don't know nearly as much about this one. It's a Russian Imperial. I believe it's 9.5, I think I saw somewhere. 10.5, 10.6, so a lot bigger. We'll see how, let's see if I can cut my nose off. What am I doing? I should have gotten better at this throughout the show, but I've gotten worse. One more, just look at it. All right. I think I bought this for like $1.99 years ago, and I think it's seen better days. Anywho, let's see. The Butcher from Societe. This is my own fault. Completely my own fault. It's one thing to have a pale ale all over your face and shirt. Now I've got a 10.5% Russian Imperial. I blame you, Mr. Sardina, ruler of the underworld indeed. Son of a gun, I'm gonna have to go and clean up afterwards. All right. Anyway, my own fault. The third time getting sprayed every time. What do they say about, like, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result? Wow, super dark. Giving myself a little extra pour of that one. It's the last guy. Nice. All right. Wonderful looking beer. Wow, love the head on that one. A really dark molasses color. I mean, black. I am holding this right up. There is a light bulb right there. I mean, I can't see, except for maybe at the very, very edges, anything. I mean, this stuff is black. Wow. Tons of, well, coffee and roast mainly. But like in a weird way, like a lighter caramel note to it. And a floral quality. Or fruity, like fruit skins, apple skins. Yeah, like apples. But not green apples, red apple. Reminds me a little bit of the this year's Dark Lord in the smell. Yeah, that and a little woody, little vegetative note to it. Big, full, creamy. A lot of chocolate that I wasn't getting in the aroma. Really coming through big time on the palate. A really nice, bitter, dark chocolate. I think Margaret would like this a lot too. Decent carbonation, although definitely lower than the other two, as it should be. Some bite to this guy as well. What is going on with those? It's almost like they used a whole heck of a lot of like English hops, and it's got that like earthy, dirty, fruity note to it. Very interesting. I wish I had the big sheet on the butcher. Really interesting. Mouthfeel is awesome. It finishes like right as you swallow it, you get a really nice sweetness, like a molasses, like a super dark molasses sweetness to it. And then that bitterness kicks in, and that roasty edge kicks in as well. Very, very nice stuff. Very well made beer. The Butcher, I am a fan of. Those aromatics are a little crazy, but it's good. It's good. I'm just not used to such a fruity smelling stout. And not dried fruits like I said, apple skins and stuff like that. It's cool and almost floral. Anyway, there you go. Oh, what am I going to score this guy? I'm going to go 92. So what do I go? 92, 93, 94. If I didn't, that's what I say now. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. As always, it's been an awesome year here at the Beer Temple. We're almost 1 year old, the store itself, although the podcast has been going on for a little bit longer. Thank you guys, as always. You know, what has made this podcast for me what it is the interaction with you guys, and this is a prime example of it. People sending beer really to share with people. It's not just so I can taste it. It's so you can virtually share it. And I really appreciate all the guys at Society for doing so, not once, but twice now, and really kind of sticking with it, and you know, just doing an awesome job, guys. Thank you so much. I will be out there to visit you, I promise. And to everybody else who's ever either sent beer in or brought beer along or appreciated that somebody else did. Thank you guys as well. Feel free, as always, to leave comments on the website. Reviews are always appreciated on iTunes. I very much appreciate that, as always. I've gotten very bad about saying that specifically to who, but maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Until next time, I've got some really special beers from a good friend at Societe Brewing that I've got here to drink. And you know what? If you're in Chicago, very soon, hopefully you will too. We'll have them open. And if not, stop on by San Diego and get some Societe beers. And then you will too. Happy New Year, guys.